Thank you and welcome back to the show for the second segment this morning. And of course, we're talking to Pastor KWalker, a member of the New Beginnings organization, the president of the New Beginnings organization, which is an organization located in the River Bend Maximum facility here in Nashville, Tennessee. And of course, Pastor Walker, before we had our first commercial break, we promised that we'd give you an opportunity to talk about some of the other issues that in many instances lead to the incarceration of individuals. And I think that you've mentioned the family structures, and you also mentioned greed. I think and let's go on and talk about some
Absolutely.
of
this. Greed plays a very important role in that, because you look at the TV sets and you see people having money and having things and stuff like that, and then you take the young person and they want things. And now, especially in the African American communities, you see a lot of drugs, you see a lot of guns, and there's a lot of violence there. And then the role models that people have, I think it has a lot to do with negative role models too. There's a lot of negative role models that's coming across in music, it's coming across in videos, it's coming across in what we're seeing as we grow up. We're seeing the number runners, we're seeing the dope dealers, we're seeing the hustlers riding around in the car with the jewelry and all of that stuff. And then it creates within a young boy a desire for those things. But if you're not being taught the right way about how to get them, and then if you're lacking discipline in the home also, then chances are you're going to go after those negative things. And when you do that, then you're going to find yourself having to experience the consequences of that, which is incarceration. So because of greed, because of the desire for money, people find themselves doing all types of things. And then you've got the drug element. You've got people selling the drugs, of course, and then you've got people that are addicted to the drugs. When you become of course, when you become addicted, then you begin to do just about anything to get the drugs. And people are killing their best friends because of the drugs, and more so because of money. There's a lot of young men in jail now, in prison now, simply because they pulled a trigger on somebody that they felt like they had crossed them in a drug deal or something like that. And of course, it wasn't the drugs, it was the money. And that sends a lot of people to the prison system. I think the majority, I would venture to say that the majority of the murder cases that are in there would probably be drug related, somewhere related involving drugs and drug money, somewhere in that picture there.
And so when we say that it's a real problem of drugs, I think what you're saying is that underneath that, it's a problem of money. You see, in that, and drugs is only a symptom.
That's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much sums that up, because it's the desire for money. The Bible even talks about for the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not money itself, it's the love of money. People fall in love with money and will do anything else to satisfy that need for money. And it seems almost like an emotional need in a sense, because people will do anything to get it. And that includes, like I say, killing your own friend because of money. You take young guys that are running around together, and then one starts to gain more and more money, then they walk around, they flash their money, and then you take a friend of theirs, they may have been selling dope together. But now one of them has gotten strung out on dope, and now he sees his friend with all this money. First thing he's going to do is try to rob him. Now one of them is going to get killed in that process, and then one of them going to the cemetery, and the other one is going to prison for a life sentence. So that's the type of stuff you're dealing with. But fortunately, Dr. Haney, we got an organization out there at the prison called New Beginnings Organization, and we're working on dealing with some of those errors in thinking. That's what our curriculum is. We have a 24-lesson curriculum out there in the prison. It's facilitated by a young man by the name of Cedric Booker. Cedric Booker is an inmate incarcerated. He's got a 30-year prison term. The young guy's a genius, 25 years old. And I mean, he's just doing some phenomenal things in terms of developing. He developed this curriculum, and he's now enhancing our curriculum now. And we're dealing with some things to resolve errors in thinking within the individual. We deal with subject matter such as vision, awareness, consciousness of self, making people self-aware of who they are, and trying to see, where am I going, who am I, and where am I going. We talk about morality, power, because people seeking power. That causes people to become incarcerated. That's some of the issues we deal with. People want to be in power. Man, I'm in power, I'm in control. I remember when I was in the streets, you know, if I had a lot of money, that means the statement I would make was, I'm in power now. You know, I'm in power.
Because of money.
Because of the money. The money gives you the money seems to give you a sense of power. So we talk about what power really is, you know, and willpower and the abuse of power and things like that. We talk about economics. We talk about the government structure. We talk about entrepreneurs. We talk about job skills and resume preparation and things like that. We deal with issues such as politics, the government, how our Constitution is structured, because you find out that a lot of these men don't know. They don't know. They absolutely do not know how the government works and how it runs, how it operates, until they get caught up in it and have to deal with it from a criminal standpoint, dealing with the law. Then they start to find out some things, and they be like, well, I didn't know. But now it's too late. So we're dealing with those issues. We talk to them about community, how we should have relationships with our families, with our friends, the type of relationships, good, healthy, wholesome relationships that we should have. These are the things that we're teaching in our curriculum. Then, of course, we do a review of all of this stuff that we're teaching on. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to restore the man, because we believe that if you restore the man, Dr. Haney, you'll restore the family. Some of the issues that you deal with incarceration, it doesn't just affect the individual that's incarcerated. I mean, you got the kids, you got the young kids. Now you think about it. I was thinking about this earlier. Now, you take a young man and he's in prison, he does, say, 10 years in prison. Then he comes back out of prison and he reintegrates with the family. Now the kids are happy to see daddy back home and everything, but now daddy can't function in society. He don't have a solid or strong enough support system. He starts to meet these challenges. He falls back and maybe goes back into prison on a technical violation. Now the child has got to go again, suffering that loss that they had in their life in the first place. Being without a father for those many years, and then the father comes back in, there's a ray of hope, and now the father's gone back away again. So there's something that has to be put in place to do something about it. We've got to put some programs in place that can catch these guys when they come out, a net, if you will, to catch these guys, to mentor them, to take them through a process, and that's what New Beginnings is trying to put together now. We're starting inside. See, a lot of programs try to work from the outside in. What makes New Beginnings unique, again, Dr. Haney, is that we work from the inside out to solve this problem that we're dealing with today.
And so the New Beginnings organization is an organization that ought to have the support of the state. How has the state reacted? And we've got about a minute before the commercial, but how has the state reacted to this organization?
Well, the state, we got some support from the institution itself at Riverbend. Dr. Haney, they're allowing us to do the weekly meetings and things like that. We appreciate Deputy Warden Bob Waller for the things that he's doing, Warden Ricky Bell out there for opening the doors for us. But as far as overall, we've got some opposition. I would love to speak to that a little bit more. You know, I know we don't have much time on this right now, but they have organized a release task force or something like that, and I can get the exact name in a minute. But we're not included. We've got a program in the prison.
Okay, and of course, let me interrupt you here for the second commercial break. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.